All right, so the Avengers love nothing but hyping up Brock Purdy and backing him up. Christian McCaffrey just said the other day, I don't know when exactly it was, but he said Purdy takes a lot of heat for absolutely no reason. It's like he wasn't there in the football game that they just played a few days ago. Do you think the 49ers are overcompensating because they know Brock Purdy isn't that good? What do you think is going on there? Is it genuine? I think it's a little genuine.
I think it's a little genuine. I think it's a little trying to gas their guy up and build his confidence. I also think that it's a little straw manny. Like, I, at this point, DeMonze, am starting to be flattered that my voice in the sports media seems to have grown loud enough that me and Cam Newton and a couple other people saying pump the brakes on Brock Purdy as league MVP has become this rallying cry to where Draymond Green is referencing this stuff in Warriors post games. Like, go ahead, DeMonze.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I didn't see that. I saw it in the rundown. I mean, that kind of brings me to the follow-up. Do you think that Draymond Green might have said something to back up Brock Purdy to slight you?
Yeah, I do. Okay. I think it's at least part of it. Yeah, I do. So here's the thing. It is odd to me that so much of the conversation is Brock Purdy gets no respect when that conversation is being had in the same football universe of Brock Purdy, NFL MVP finalist, Brock Purdy, Pro Bowler, Brock Purdy, he is.
Yeah, you can't say that nobody gives him respect, and the argument is he should be MVP.
Exactly, and when he's a finalist for MVP, which means he's top 5 vote getter this year. So when they say the media doesn't respect him, the media is the one voting on MVP, and he's a finalist. And so I was, and I said it on Tuesday, I was impressed by some of the things he did in the NFC Championship game. He played poorly, obviously, in large stretches of it, but then he made some of the scrambles were good. He made a couple really nice throws.
Running for his job. Shoot.
Yeah, and I think there is a level of projection and where I get frustrated, and I talked, by the way, Damon Bruce, speaking of subscribing things on YouTube, if you're a Bay Area sports fan, Damon Bruce was, in my opinion, the best sports radio host in Bay Area history, started his own YouTube channel and his own podcast that he went independent. I went on with him last night for like 45 minutes. You guys should subscribe to Damon Bruce Plus for anything Warriors, Niners, Bay Area related. And he and I argued about Brock Purdy. And here is, to me, what is so interesting about the Purdy thing. His biggest supporters agree with me on so many things. They just don't like my delivery. If you ask the biggest Brock Purdy supporters, hey, okay, no matter what you think of him, are there 5 guys on the Niners offense better than him? They'll sheepishly try to change the subject and then typically admit yes. Trent, Christian, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo. All 5 of those guys are better at their jobs than Purdy is at his. And my frustration
the other argument is, but those other guys aren't. The Trent Williams, that isn't the position that usually gets MVPs. Like, a couple of those positions aren't even really like in the race, so to speak, for MVP.
Of course. No, that's absolutely right. I don't disagree with you on that. My point is, though, Trent Williams only gets Christian McCaffrey never gets asked, man, how good is Trent Williams? Brandon Ayuk never gets asked, how good is George Kittle? These guys who are A-plus players are then asked about, and I get it, it's the quarterback, like, how good is Brock? And I feel like we are efforting to build
like
up Brock Purdy to a degree where it almost by default takes away some from the actual great players. But we'll see, man. Like, you couldn't have asked for a better scenario for folks that have wanted my Brock Purdy take to be a classic Category 3 when I'm confident it's going to be a classic Category 2. Go ahead.
I got shut out last week when this topic came up, but exactly what you said was going to happen is happening. Now, I'm not saying that Brock Purdy is going to go and beat Mahomes, but this is like nightmare fuel for you. Like, the 49ers are gearing up to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and if Brock Purdy beats the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I'm truly going to feel for you. Like, genuinely, I'm going to be sad for you.
I mean, I went through something similar the last time the Chiefs were going for a repeat, which was I was the guy all year long doubting Brady with the Bucs. Now, it's a different type of doubt because Brady obviously was, already the GOAT. But but I was saying that I thought he wasn't the same player, that I would love if the Chiefs got to play them in the Super Bowl, which, by the way, that I've never said about San Francisco because I have so much respect for that roster and that team as a whole. I've never said like, oh, that would be the dream Super Bowl matchup. And then Tom Brady played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and they kicked their ass. And I had to eat it and wear it all off season. This is now any other NFC team that made it, I would be on a total take free roll. If the Cowboys made it and won, I picked the Cowboys all year, right? If the Lions made it and won, I haven't been one of those people calling the Lions frauds. Like, I've been like, hey, that's a good team that if Baker made it and won, I almost get more credit than if Mahomes had. Yeah. Right. If the Eagles had done it, I would have had to get a little egg on my face because I had been, but the Eagles had as good a chance of winning 3 playoff games as the Panthers did, the way they looked going into the playoffs. The Packers, I would have just been happy for you. You know what I mean? Nobody's like, oh, Nick, you've hated on the Packers. And the Rams, the last 2 months, I was saying that I thought they could make the Super Bowl out of the NFC. I picked them to be in the conference championship game.
No, the Niners is the single worst team to be playing.
The Niners are the only one, but it also could be the single best. Like, it also, there is a game script here where Mahomes drives down the field and gets a quick 7.
And when Purdy just folds and all that stuff comes to light that you've been talking about all season. Where
the Chiefs get an early lead, the Niners make a mistake or they get stopped or their crummy rookie kicker misses a field goal. And before you know it, it's 10-0 Kansas City. And I know the Niners have had comebacks this postseason, but they start pressing a
Chiefs.
Bit. Right. And then all of a sudden, we have some tip passes. We have some Purdy hospital balls. We have some ducks over the middle of the field. Like, there is a script where, and here's the other thing I'll say about the Purdy stuff. I think the Niners should tamp down the conversation surrounding him for 2 reasons. One, this guy hasn't blinked. I give him credit. The Super Bowl is going to feel different. 2 weeks leading up to it, staring across the field at Patrick Mahomes, knowing what is at stake for him, for his career, legacy, all of it. It's going to feel different. Niners, the fact that the biggest storyline going into the game is going to be, here's Brock Purdy's arc, here's Tom Brady's arc. Here's Brock Purdy's arc, here's Joe Montana's arc. That's going to be the storyline. And some, tricky television producers are also going to do, here was Brock Purdy this season, here's Patrick Mahomes this season. And there is going to be, I think, added undue pressure on the kid because his teammates are, so leaning into him being the story. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.